Hello guys and gals, traders. Some of you will know I'm currently in Asia, Southeast Asia, and I am getting away from the cold, dark British winter, and I am loving it far more than I ever expected to. And on my walk this afternoon, it suddenly occurred to me that my trading day is done, and I could actually quite easily fit in a possible live room session, streaming session, I don't know. It literally just occurred to me today. So I opened this chart when I got home a moment ago, and US 30 is only, for me here, it is about 6:30 in the evening, which is perfect. And it's only 11:23 in the UK, and sort of the UK session is all over, as it were, the Open, the London, Frankfurt Open. But I can personally find trades on a 1 minute chart. I had a bit of a rant yesterday about the 1 minute chart. Anyway, let's look at this on the 1 minute and see what we can, or the 5 minute for now, and see what I literally started to look at myself. And that is, I've opened this literally, I had a little trade earlier today as well, not long ago actually, when I got back from lunch. But this looks bullish to me. So we can watch this in its build up, as it were. What do I know about this time of day? Well, 11 o'clock in the UK, it's 11, what did I just say? It is 11:23 or something like that. 11:24, yeah. Is the time, 11 o'clock is when the gold changes. So first thing I looked at was gold. Couldn't see anything really that interesting on gold. So I thought I'll see whether there's anything going on with US 30. You know, that big daily candle, look at recent candles, see what's going on. And so here we have a 2B. That is the VIX Sporandio low. This is the bar that pokes through it. This is on the 5 minute, of course. So the high of this bar is what we need to close above according to VIX rules, and then potentially possibly a little pullback and a continuation. You can see the similar thing that I traded over here, but I'll talk about that a little bit later. But I wanted to watch this one. I thought I might as well make a video live, and we can watch it going on. And this is the sort of thing that I know I could easily do now, because it doesn't infringe on my day at all. I could do a couple of hours at this time of day, and then be off out doing what I want in the evening, as it were. So, and that I can't believe, how good this could be, because it's, I've done all my walking, done all my trading, done everything I want to do, had my lunch, been out with, met some people, and I'm having the time of my life. Now, the reason I've got this open is because of that big daily, as I said to you. So we're watching what this does on the 5 minute chart. It's got to get up here. But having said that, remember Vic says about the subsequent bars as well. And so this high is significant because that's a subsequent poke through our sort of trigger level. I'm sure Vic, there's the poke in the trigger. I think Vic calls this the trigger, and this is the poke. It's poked through the trigger level. And then obviously this is the break level. I don't know whether he ever called that anything. I'm not sure. I've never read any books about any traders, to be honest with you. I'd rather just watch charts and learn the basics, and then you can make up everything else for yourself, can't you? Because you watch the charts. So anyway, this is quite high in my mind, as it were, or I'm very mindful of these price movements, because some idiot yesterday got me right wound up, repeating the stupidity that idiots say about 1 minute charts. And it is so wrong because it damages so many traders. And I'm sorry to be scathing, and I'm sorry to be sort of rude, calling people idiots, but they are. There's no other word for them. So here we are on M1 now. and we could actually do the whole M5 thing. This is a little bit of a mess, but and obviously I didn't expect it to look quite this messy when I started studying it on the M1, but it can be, the point is it can be unwound and it can be traded. And the reason for that is because I've got all the additional tools in my toolbox now. I understand, I've seen this work for thousands of trades. I've seen the 2B uh, work for dozens and dozens of thousands of trades, and I can see these things, what has to happen in my sleep. And then when you combine it with multi-time frame analysis, then you can really start to put this into overdrive, as it were, supercharged. So there has not been a valid trade triggered yet. There is a bit of a bug on RSI Histo that the indicator, for some reason, and I don't understand why, and probably need to get that sorted for the RSI Histo version 2 maybe, debugged. The arrows on the indices, or one or two of the indices, I haven't worked out why it does it. It could be conflict of indicators, all sorts of things going on. So work for another day. But what we have going on here, so that's why you've got these silly little arrows instead of the big pink ones that you might see. Let's just switch over to a standard. This is what I'm talking about. These arrows here, standard FX pair, and it looks totally different. But all of this I can unravel. All of this mess I can unravel, which is why I was so wound up by the stupid person that thinks he's a pattern trader and just pushing forward untruths and stupid information to newer traders. So anyway, let's get back to that US 30 and see what that's doing, and we shall look at that M1 and see if we can decipher it. So we haven't had, let's put some levels on the H1 M30 and the closes like that. So and analyze what this is telling us, because this is what people miss, is being able to read all of the different time frames. So the new H1 started here. This is the 11 till 12 o'clock bar, and that's telling us that you wouldn't want to short, and you can't long. It's not telling us we can long. But then the half-hour bar that closed at the 11 o'clock 30-minute bar, again, is not particularly good for longs, but it's rubbish for shorts too. And then the 15-minute bar, so we actually, apologies guys, we have a new 30-minute bar just started, 28 minutes into it now. Or sorry, we're 2 minutes into the new bar. So that's a new green bar. And what else can we see from this chart? We've got a 30-minute 2 candle reversal to the downside. That's signified by the pink bar there. We have, so basically what that's telling us is that there is a support level has been busted by this candle, and this went up to test it as old support being new resistance. The low of that green candle is your support that created that indicator, if you like, the alert, as it were, for the 3CR. And then this went back to test it, and it should, because it's a bearish 3CR, go down further, but it's in a slight uptrend. So it's a bad idea to consider shorting it. It's a better idea to wait and look for longs. So we've got two reasons now why we like, or I like, the idea for long. We've got the huge daily candle down, which the manipulators in the market, the biggest institutions, are looking at in whatever way they decide they want to move the price, because they are believe me, They are the only movers of price, not the smaller hedge funds, not the, unless they're, going pop or whatever, not the retail traders. It is the massive institutions, and they're using their money to push price wherever they want in order to just take as much money as they want out of these markets. Billions to sell billions to drive the price down, but they sell 10 times the amount, or they buy 10 times the amount of billions at the low price that they've just pushed the price down to. That's what happens, in my opinion. I can never prove it, of course, but you watch a few videos over 20 years and you can work out what I would do, and the market seems to do exactly what I would do if I was a multi-trillionaire or whatever, with the power to move the market. So anyway, I digress. So I've got a bullish bias in my head, and then all I have to do is make sure that the charts agree with my bias, and every I is dotted and T is crossed. And we were talking about the timing in the market, and the H1 close, the H4 close, the M30 close, the M15 close, the M5 close, the M1 close. Everything has to be watched and worked out. So it is that. But when you've done that, I said yesterday on a tweet I made, it is as near a mechanical system that you can possibly ever have as a trader, in my opinion. And people then, this leads me on to another thought, people say, well, why can't you automate it then? You try and build a system that automates all of that stuff I've developed in my head. It's got to be nigh on impossible. But I imagine, obviously these quant programmers and whatnot would be able to do it, but they're not sitting next to me at the moment, are they? And they're not paying me enough. So back to this 30-minute at 11:30. We're 5 minutes into the new 30-minute candle now, closed slightly bullish. The H1 has turned bearish right now, but that can change in a blink because we've still got 24 minutes to go of the H1 candle. And what did the M15 tell me at this point? The M15 has actually pushed down, which is exactly what I was explaining many times, is that if we track the 2B reversals down like we were looking at on that 5 minute, all of that analysis has been, it's kept us out of a bad long trade, basically. There's no way to get in a trade like that. But we have a new low now. We have a new 2B thingamy-bob on the 5 minute. A whole new set of candles to look at. So we were kept out of the long because there was, this has to agree. These longs here were taken because this is above zero and powerful and growing momentum. And then all the other bits and bobs, timing and so on, MTF timing and so on and so forth. So now I can put a new, so we could sit and do this in a room. Now I have the time. I never had the time before. And obviously it won't be free because time is money and all that stuff. But I think it's valuable. It's got value, a lot more value than a lot of the stuff all over the internet. So there you go. Anyway, so we now have a whole new ball game to play with. And let's talk about this. So we can do this on the 1 minute again now, and it'll look tidier. So there's our low. There's our punch through the low. This, although it didn't close through the low, that's not necessary in this case. This is the important new high that we need to talk about. So we put the, that's the trigger bar, that's the poke bar, and this is the new trade happening. And what do we know about all of this? This is the big boys, mentioned it before, the big boys loading up with their sell orders by selling just enough to move the price down to a level that they can load up again. And they load up and they sell a load again. And they load up, new order, new order, new order, and they take it up to a level that they want to sell it at again, and they sell again and push the price down. Maybe they sell 5 billion, 5 billion, 5 billion, starting to stall here, 10 billion. And all the time, they know they're going to send it here, so they're not going to load up with the big orders until they get to this point. I mean, look at this go now. That is an internal 2B there. This is a 2B inside that 2B. Now, the way I look at this is not like that's why the line chart's so good. So now we can clearly see this is VIX Barandio's low. This high here is the poke bar. This was a possible long trade. And that move was, let's say the close was there, say. That move was 242 points, 24 pips, whatever you want to call it. But oh dear, silly bollocks, excuse my French, tells us that the 1 minute can't be traded. Sorry guys, it can. So that would have been the entry. There is your 20 break. That would be a big arrow, but it's not working right now. So this would have been the entry. So there we are. That is what we could do in a live room. But what I do not want to do is have people trading my stuff. And I won't be trading in a live room. It's just for educational purposes only, as they say on the tins. So that, I think I've explained how you follow the 2Bs down. I've explained how I use the multi-time frame analysis. I've explained how the line charts give you an alternative, well, a better, clearer way of finding the levels. You know, this is clearly the low. Instead of a candle low, it's a line chart low. It's more powerful. Line charts are more powerful than wicks. This is clearly a break through that. So that is the final stronger, if you like, sellers making a new low, lower than that low. And then it's turned around, it's hit liquidity, you know, and the way I look at that is that's the institution's level to load up with buyers again. And then it's broken it. We've got a 3CR here. That's the 3CR. Penultimate low, ultimate low, reversal against the penultimate low. Rebel and Intrepid Noodle just did an amazing job with the indicator. Just crazy good. Thank you if you watch this, Aaron. And the old levels that we used and drew are still valid levels as the price breaks through them. They are important levels to consider for bullishness. You know, so we're finally, this is actually still fairly bullish, but I would have walked away from this now. I'm not interested. I could have got whatever it was I said, 24 points, but from the entry, and then you got the spread, let's say it's about there, could have got 16 pips or 164 points. So this is a whole new scenario, and this is what I see. You know, this is a low, this is the poke bar, the high of that one single candle there. You can't trade 1 minute, remember, BS. This is a new level that the price wants to break and close above with new momentum. In other words, a nice little arrow here, and then off it pops, hopefully. This is something to do with, yeah, I was going to say that's something to do with the 3CR. There's a 3CR level. Oh, it's saying we are part of a current 3CR. Intrepid Noodle, Aaron, actually built us a multi-time frame, but I've never, ever, all these years, I've never got my head around it. But that is, you know, doing what the higher time frame, the 5 minute, should tell us to do. So we've still got our levels, the low, the high of that, and now, as you can see, the price is going up. Anyway, hopefully I've actually recorded this and not forget to set record, and hopefully some of you will watch it, and maybe some of you might be up for joining paid live sessions. I have no idea. It's a new idea, come straight into my head today, and I thought I'd make this video on the fly to explain how I find so many trades all over the place. Notice, that's not looking particularly, it's certainly not looking bearish, but it's not looking particularly bullish either. Having said that, there was all those points available, and look how it's using that line to switch over. That line was drawn over there. And, we were kept out of these. These were not positive moves because of all the other parts of my 2B trading analysis. This ought to be private, this video, actually, shouldn't it, really? But I'll put it up live. I don't know, I might work out some way of making it private, but free to whoever. Anyway, we could still now use more analysis. What we've got a new 15-minute bar is closed. No, it's just closing in a moment. Let's go on the 15 and see what that actually tells us in real time. Yeah, power's coming in. It's bullish. This is a bit like this. Look what happened when it was a bit like that. This is also almost a mirror. And remember what I say as well. Look left. The power of this RSI histo and the analysis and the work I've done on this doesn't bear thinking about, actually, but it's overlooked, obviously, because I have so few people that understand the importance of this stuff that it's laughable. But anyway, maybe there will be a revised understanding. Look, so that's closed with powerful momentum. Even a thing like this, I look at that wick and I think, the pullback's over. That is the pullback part of the bullishness. So we don't have to wait for a new pullback here because that wick's there. I've talked about that before. That 15-minute close, what does the 5-minute tell us? As part of that 15-minute, growing momentum on the third candle in that 15-minute bar. And then, we can analyze the candles in that 5-minute bar. What will they tell us? They tell us tons of things. We've got a 3CR there, penultimate, ultimate, low, reversal above. It's also closed above a flip zone or line chart level, whatever you want to call it. So this, again, that is even more bullish. Sorry about that. And it just goes on, guys. So if you want to read candles properly, and if you want to understand that Muppets tell you there is no structure on M1, then you should have a look at some of my videos, because there is a wealth of knowledge and experience thrown into what these candles tell us. And this is why I do this. And that's, that's a hammer candle, or, some people call it a pin bar. Some idiots would say it's not hammer because it's got a wick over there, sorry. And it just goes on. That's a nice hammer down the bottom there as well, with a long wick at the bottom. Doji, we can trade the break, the closes and opens of dojis as well. And there she goes. It just goes on and on. All of these levels were manually drawn, folks. People say I use too many indicators and this, that and the other. Well, hopefully this video, it's not about being Bertie Big Whatsits. It's not about being clever. It's about understanding charts and having done the graft. There's the low, there's the break of the low. That is a 2B. This is what happens when you understand your candles on multiple time frames. Anyway, as I said just now, I hope this has actually recorded, and I shall upload it, sod it, straight up to the YouTube free channel. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.